Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Cash, and we're going to talk a little safety this week, okay? It's National Brake Safety Check Week, or however they word that. What I'm trying to tell you is be on high alert this week. DOT is going to be out and about, and it ain't the good kind. They're going to have them creepers with them. Yep, they're going to slide right up under your stuff, and they're going to check your brakes. So let's talk about it. Let's figure out how to make this not as painful as it could be. Definitely don't want no out of service. Oh, yeah, don't get the out of service on your record. That's not a good look. Most companies offer a little bonus if you get a clean DOT inspection. So why don't you just go ahead and wrap up that bonus real quick and handle your business? Let's talk about it. A couple tips. I just got my level 1 last week. So I wanted to make a video about it, talk about it a little bit, kind of refresher. I haven't had a level 1 in about 3 years, 4 years, maybe something like that. So put some things fresh in my mind. And let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So the first things first, uh, here's how I handle it, okay? I'm not telling you, I don't like to tell people how to live their life. I just tell you how I did it and what worked for me, and then you can go from there. If you find value in this video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you want to know more about trucking, come join me for a live show. Those are lots of fun. So let's get to it. What are we talking about here? Level 1. That's the most levels ever, okay? It's like golf for the DOT. The lower the number, the better the more fun they're having. Okay, so let's talk about it a little bit. Level 3, yeah, basically they're going to check your paperwork. They're going to check your logbook. It's called driver fitness. Yeah, they're not going to measure your body fat because I probably wouldn't do so well if they did that. It's called driver fitness, but they're just checking like, your DOT medical certificate, stuff like that. Level 2 is a walk around, baby. They're not going to get under there more than likely. What they're going to do is they're going to do the same things of the level 3, and then they're going to do a walk around your truck. They're going to check your blinkers. They're going to check your brake lights. They're going to check your headlights. They're going to make sure, every little thing works. A big one in Minnesota. You get a level 2 in Minnesota, I promise you one thing, they're going to want to see you squirt. What did he just say? They're going to want to see your windshield wiper squirt. Excuse me. They're going to want to see windshield wiper fluids come out of those little nozzles on your windshield wipers. So make sure you got wiper fluid in the reservoir. Make sure it works. That is a DOT requirement because, if you're running up north in the winter, you're going to need to get that snow and ice off your wipers. So they want you to have something in there. I recommend running that good Rain-X stuff year round. That's what I run, the orange Rain-X. I very rarely ever have a problem out of it, and it keeps my windshield like beating. Puts like a coat of wax on there for you, so not a bad deal. Also, I feel like in the wintertime that wax kind of keeps your wipers from building up ice as much. So that's level 2. Things that should be working anyway. I mean, even if you do a half-ass pre-trip, if you just light the fires and kick the tires, as we like to say, which means if you just turn on your lights and your flashers and then you walk around and you kick all your tires, which I'll be honest with you, kicking tires, what is this, 1932? No one can tell a tire's inflation by kicking it. Get a tire gauge, have it handy, you know. More importantly, or more smarterly, as I would say, get a tire monitoring system or a tire inflation system. That way, they're good. I don't have to get out and check mine. Mine says right here on my dash, every tire PSI and every tire temperature. Boy, that is handy. If you want to get you one of those, I'll leave a link down there in the pinned comment for one of those for a truck. I'm gonna tell you, they're a little pricey, like $400 or $500 ish, but let me ask you this. When you blow out a tire on the roadside, how expensive is that? Yeah, yeah. See, you could prevent that if you knew your tire pressures. Just saying, you could prevent some of it. But anyway, and I want to talk about that more as a reason I brought that up during my level 1. So that's level 2. Level 3, excuse me, I'm thinking like a normal person. Level 1, is the more like they check everything. Okay. If they want to, they can get in the cab of your truck and rummage around if they want to. I ain't saying it's right. I'm saying you got a commercial motor vehicle number on the side of that truck that's basically going, you have the right to search everything. I know a lot of people say, the back is their house. You can't search that. I'm no lawyer, so I'm not going to get into that. I mean, if you think that's what way it is, I would definitely contact some people before I assumed things I heard on the internet were true. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You ever heard somebody say something on the internet and then come find out it ain't true? What? And it was a YouTube trucker? Oh, tell me it ain't so. Yeah, so I would definitely get the facts on things before I go putting guns and drugs and ammo and what else goes back there? Trafficking people, hey, they can't search back there, that's my house. Careful with that one. Slippery slopes. Slippery slopes. So anyway, let me get off my pulpit here. Back to the level one, okay? Now, basically, this week, they're going to be churning and burning, churning and burning. They're going to do a lot of them. So, what they're going to do is, I don't think necessarily, I ain't saying they won't, because I ain't the DOT, but typically during brake check week, what they do is they hit them brakes hard, okay? Like throw you through the windshield, hit the brakes hard. What they're going to do is they're going to be up under your truck and they're going to be testing the brakes, okay? So here's a couple things you need to do during a brake test. Number one, are your slack adjusters working and are they adjusted properly? If you don't know how to do this, I recommend you swing by the TA or the Loves and you have someone check that for you. Yeah, spend 150 bucks, whatever it is. I know sometimes TA runs a promotion during brake check week that they'll check your brakes for free for you. Now, if you don't know your stuff's within, margin, that's a great offer. I mean, I think you might have to pay for it and then they you send in a receipt and they like reimburse you or something. It's the TA. It's never going to be simple and cut and dry. We know that for a fact, right? But if you do all the little steps, if you jump through all the little hoops, you could get you 150 bucks back. Just saying, it sure as hell beats an out of service in the middle of Wyoming. I can only imagine what a service call at that damn Nebraska port of entry over there. Have a lot of time and hassle and get that done. Okay. Now, other things you're going to want to make sure are in working order. And these are all things you should be checking on a pre-trip anyway, but you want to make sure your buzzer works. Okay. When you stomp down your brakes, okay, hold your brakes for I think 1 minute. You're not supposed to lose, I think it's, I can't remember what it is. I think it's like 10 or 20%. You're not supposed to lose more than that holding it for a minute, which if you're losing air holding your brake that quick, you need to look at something anyway. Um, but those are the main things. You want to make sure you got your slack adjusters are working order, they're adjusted properly, and stuff like that. Make sure all your little alarms and warnings work. Those are the things they're going to be hitting hard this week. I'll just tell you right now, they're coming for those things. Everything else is kind of mm, you know, they're probably not going to be as picky on it. I'll just be honest with you because they're coming after brakes. Now, that's not saying you should have your mirror, being held on by duct tape and you can't even see out the mirror because there's so much duct tape on it. It just get stuff, And another thing, when the economy, I've been through a few ups and downs in trucking. When the trucking economy goes down, it seems like the DOT's out even more because I think they kind of know. Well, money ain't good, so truckers ain't fixing things right now. They're just, I'll fix it next week. I got to make some money this week. Yeah, that's when they snatch you. That's when they come take your panties. And then you can truly get on the CB and say, I ain't got no panties on because the DOT just snatched them right off of me. So, they'll have them hanging on the rearview mirror, posting it on Facebook. Just saying, it's going to happen. So, um, yeah, let's talk about my level one. So those are things I would recommend for brake check week. But now let's get into my level one inspection. Things I learned, things I got tips on. And if you stick around to the end, I'll let you know how it went. So, number one thing I would recommend is the tire pressure monitoring system. Yeah. Saves you a lot of time. I pulled into the DOT. He hops up on the thing here, up on my steps. And not to try to make it hard on him, but there's nothing to grab onto out there. I've pretty much taken everything off this truck that can be taken off of it that's not aerodynamic. You know what I'm saying? So he hops up there, almost falls backwards off the damn thing. So I think maybe not the best start, but anyway, um, he was asking me, he's like, "What the heck is that thing?" And I said, "That is the tire pressure monitoring system." And he's like, "Oh, that's real time." And I said, "Yeah, that's real time. That's exactly where they're at right now." I said, "That's the temperature on them, and that's the inflation on them." And they were all in that like 105 to like 115-ish range, somewhere in there, when they're hot, pulling in off the highway. So he took a look at that and he goes, "I like that." He goes, he was asking me about like where I got it and everything. I was like, "I got it off Amazon and whatnot." And he's like, "Boy, I wish more truckers would have those." And I said, "Ain't that the truth? Make things a lot simpler." He said, "Yeah." He said, "I ain't even got to get out and I ain't even got to get out and check the pressures now." And he goes, "It's right there." I was like, "That's how I feel every morning." You know what I mean? So I think just them seeing, that I care enough to like be on top of things, it puts confidence in them that, maybe I shouldn't, pick on every little thing this guy's doing. So look prepared would be my number one. Have your little book, have your little book with all your permits and your cab card and your insurance and your whatever in there. Your trapper keeper. Have your trapper keeper in great working order. Okay. I recommend like page one, start off with the pertinence. Okay. Give them the information they want right off top. Cab card, page two, insurance. Page three, so on, so on, so on, so on, permits and whatnot that you need, you carry. Number two thing I would recommend, paper logbook. Do you have a paper logbook in your truck right now? If you don't, stop at the next truck stop and get one. That is a requirement, folks. If your ELD goes down, how are you going to log what you're doing? So my ELD died in the middle of nowhere about 2 years ago, and I was about 1,500 miles from the yard. So the odds of me getting another one in the next 24 hours, not good. So luckily I had my paper log with me, and I come from the era of paper logs. Yes, I'm old. I know I don't look it. I know. But anyway, uh, yes, I do come from an era of paper logs, and I know what you're saying. Cash, what'd you start driving truck when you were 2 year old? Yeah, kind of basically I did, but no, I'm just kidding. So get that paper log in your truck because it looks good. I'm telling you right now, when they're and I keep mine in my little trapper keeper up there with my permits, my cab cards right there. He flips the page open in that front little pocket for him to see right off the bat. What is that? Well, if you don't mind me asking, what is that? I say, "Oh, that's paper logs." And so see, there you go. Right off the bat, you look professional. They see that. It's like, bam, bam, cab card, bam, insurance. Okay, that brings me to number three. The third thing that I would recommend you look into, make sure you got it, and that's a quick guide to your logbook. Yeah. Do you know how to use your logbook? Do you know how to kick yourself into inspection mode? Do you know how to send them the files? Also, you're on duty during an inspection. If you go to your logbook on duty, you type in DOT. Most of the time, it'll pop up DOT inspection. Click on that. You're going to want to be on duty during the inspection. So keep those things in mind. The fourth thing I would recommend. Funny thing is, the officer actually asked me this while we were outside of the truck, and I thought that was funny because he says, "Where's your flashlight at?" And I said, "Oh, I got flashlights all over the place, but the one I pulled out, and I got a couple in the back. I got ones that are magnets. I got rechargeable stand-up ones. You can't have enough light if you work on your own equipment. But this is my pre-trip light. Okay, rechargeable. Number one, Almost every light I buy now is rechargeable. So I like this one for the pre-trip because it's pistol grip, and I don't know, I just like it. I just like it. So I pulled this one out. Said, "Here's my flashlight, sir." I pulled this light out. I said, "Here you go. Here's my flashlight." I keep this in the driver's door pocket. That's why I like the shape of it and everything. It fits in the door pocket pretty easy. I like its pistol grip. It's got a lock on it so you don't accidentally run down your battery. I don't know. I got this at Harbor Freight for like $10. It's rechargeable. You screw this off, it's got rechargeable. Um, it's been a really good light for a couple years now. I said to that officer, I said, just by curiosity, are we required to have a flashlight? And he says, no, you're not required to have one, but I like to ask drivers if they have one because he says, I noticed you did your pre-trip this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I said, yeah, I like to get an early start on the day so I can find parking at night. And he says, oh, well, that's why I asked. I just want to know, like, to judge, like, did you actually do a pre-trip or did you not do a pre-trip? 'Cause if you're pre-tripping a truck at 4 o'clock in the morning with no flashlight, yeah, not a good look. You're probably not doing a very good job. So he thought it was good that I had the flashlight. He said, all right, that's good. It's handy. I like that. He says, he's like, it's pretty believable that you use that during your pre-trips. And I said, yeah, it's the one I use. I said, I got tons of lights in the truck, but that's the one I use for, when I jump out of the truck at night or, if I need to check something real quick, that's my quick little go-to. I charge it about once a week and we're good to go. The the fifth thing that I would check right now is your glad hand seals. When was the last time you changed out those glad hand seals? Um, Luckily, I changed mine out about a month ago. But he said that's a big thing he looks for is leaky airlines. It's just his personal pet peeve, I guess, because he like went down the whole back, and then like when he was under the trailer checking the brakes, he was under there shaking airlines. So make sure you got no audible air leaks because that's an out of service. And the damnedest thing is most of the time when I have an audible air leak, it's right there at the glad hand seal. It's just they wear out, you twist them, and I have my glad hands bent where they are very tight. Like that's a tight seal. When I lock that thing in, I mean, it takes two hands to put the glad hand on. But I do that because I want it really, really tight. But what that does, that wears out my glad hand seals a little faster than normal. But I don't care because I got a really tight seal. And in the winter, you don't want air getting in there, creating problems for your air dryer and your air system. So that would be my number 5 thing, and it's just what they did to me and what we talked about. I'm just sharing it with you. So that's the 5 that I would work on right now if I didn't have them in order. Also, another one, we'll go number 6, bonus tip of the day. If you do multiple stop deliveries or multiple stop pickups, basically if you have multiple bill of ladings, I would definitely recommend to you to put every BOL number into your form part of your logbook. Now, if you're sitting here going, Cash, what's the form part of my logbook? I'm like this. Yeah, the form part of your logbook is where you enter your BOL numbers, you enter your truck and trailer that you're pulling. It's in your logbook. Just go look for it. On Motive, I use Motive. If you click on your chart, your graph, click on that. It's up at the top. Form. It's like beside inspections. Um, so yeah, make sure you have all BOL numbers entered into that because the thing of it was, I was on a multi-stop run and I always put every BOL number in there. I go through each stop because a lot of times I'll do multi-stop runs that are like the product's not even related to each other. Like they'll have two totally different looking BOLs, okay? And I just happened to get done with one stop on my 2 stop delivery. So I was on the second bill of lading, and the guy says, I need the bills. And I said, well, I just got done with a stop. Do you need those bills too? And he said, no, I only want the freight that's on the trailer. I only want the bill for that. So see, if I hadn't entered both bill numbers, that bill would not have been on my form portion of my logbook. So keep that in mind, folks. If you do multi-stop, put all those BOL numbers in there and make sure you're putting that BOL number in there and don't forget it. I've built a great habit. The first thing I do when I get into a truck with the bill of lading, first thing I do is I add that bill of lading to my logbook. Just habit. Just trying to make a habit of it. So there it is, guys. Thanks everybody for watching. If you made it this far, like I say, smash that like button for me. I much appreciate it. And if you're not a subscriber, think about that as well. They're free. I give them away right now if you hurry up and get it. And other than that, guys, take care of each other out there. Remember, people are more important than trucking. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. Yeah, I passed the level 1, no problems. I got my sticker on my windshield over there. Got my bonus from my company. Good times. Good times. Hard work pays off. Quick, I just want to remind everybody about the Mudflap app. If you're not using Mudflap, check it out, download it. It should be part of your fueling program. It's a free app. Go download it from the Apple or Android store. You sign up using credit card or bank account. No credit checks, nothing like that. No fuel card needed. Get yourself huge discounts on fuel. I buy about half of my fuel through it right now. It's an amazing free app. It's 100% legit. Sign up using my promo code there, and I'll get $10 in free fuel. You'll get $10 in free fuel. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.